Yes, thank you. Exactly. Amazing. There we go. I forgot to turn my mic on. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Stanhos, for reminding me to turn it on. Can you hear me now? Amazing. Great. Excellent. Excellent. Music's not too loud? No? Good. I just want to make sure your viewing experience is tip-top. I even put on this yellow sweater for you all. Cool. Okay, well, as you know, my name is Peter Ocampo. I joined Firestorm sort of late last year, so I'm one of their freelance concept artists. I've been in the film industry for ages and ages now. So my first film was Batman: The Dark Knight, which was back in 2007 and 2008. Oh yes, this here is Stan. So everyone say hi. So yeah, I was in VFX for nearly a decade, and then I am. Oh yeah. No, he's literally called Stan. No, it's actually a really unimaginative name. Oh, sorry, Stan, but he's called Stan in the catalogue. and I did have a naming competition among my students at the time, but no, I think Stan just stuck. I don't know. Stan's just. It's a very good name. It's a very good name. I do use him to teach anatomy from time to time, but mostly he just stands there and scares students. So yeah. But where was I? Yeah. So I've been farting around in film for a while. Worked on things like Inception, Harry Potter, The Avengers, Thor Ragnarok, Star Trek. After about a decade, I moved into concept art, and there I got to work on the Bear for Annihilation. So that was a lot of fun, and that was where my sort of dark descent into what I'm going to show you now began. Okay, so I guess you're all here to see how I work. So we will be. Is that a snake or a crocodile? Anyway, I guess you're here to see my workflow. So we'll be doing some horror art. Oh, maybe I should start recording as well. Do I need to start recording, Heather? Do I need to hit that? I'll just hit that just to be sure. Yeah. What was I saying? So yeah, I'll be making some horror creatures. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to finish in 2 hours. I'm not quite that fast, but I think I'll be able to get quite a lot done. I'm planning to take about an hour to whack this together in Zbrush, and then whatever state it's in, we'll just take it into Blender, get a quick render out, and then we'll see how much paint over we can get done before the end. Be that, two and a bit hours from now. So as you can see here, right, I've brought in a bit of stuff already, right? So yeah, 1 hour obviously isn't a lot to put a model together. So I'm probably not going to finish it to a very high level, but I don't know, sometimes that does mean that I'm just having to paint more, and I like that more. I went through a phase where I really started to sculpt everything, and then I don't know. I think it makes the next paint over stage feel a little bit stiff. So well, let's see how it goes. I'm new to this sort of improvisation, so we will see. Yeah, my streams are the best. I would say I know how to use Blender. I'm not a Blender user though. When I see some things that people can do in that program, it does blow my mind a little bit. I find once I find a way of doing something, I tend to just stick with it, even if it's a bit rubbish. So you might see me using some very primitive workflows. But anyway, let's get going. So we've got our Julie mesh here, and then yeah, you should wait to see before you make any judgments. So all this stuff here, to get stuff done in 1 hour. Obviously, I'm gonna be kit bashing a lot of it. So Julie hangs around in Lightbox. I've seen some of our artists make her into Vecna. So yeah, Julie gets pushed around a bit. So we're just using her as a base mesh. This skull you see up here, that is something that I sculpted to add to my own kit bash library. So if you do any like studies or like practice sculpts, it's always quite a good idea to keep them, because you can make your own little like reference library, and then it's just here forever. So now I don't need to sculpt any more skulls. Obviously I think that can make you a little bit I don't know, you can get a little bit slow in the long run, not stay quite as sharp if you're sculpting. So I don't know, like when I'm really tired out, burnt out by work, but I kind of need to make something and be productive, but I'm not feeling creative. Actually, sometimes a little study like that's quite nice to do. And that way, the more skulls you do, the more things you've got to kit bash. And these arms, like, I get bored just having to pose like fingers and nails and stuff. And obviously, I don't think it's the most interesting thing for you to watch. So yeah, arms, nails, that sort of stuff. Yeah, that also goes into a little library. Actually, I can show you the sculpts that I stole them from. Or can I? I might be lying. Oh, I could have sworn these. Yeah, I could have sworn these came in with the models, but I guess I deleted it to export it. So let's just wait and see. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, so rookie error. Okay. So Julie has layers baked in, so we need to get rid of those, don't we? All right, so as I said, we've not got long. So I was doing some sketching yesterday, and I kind of want to do something with a long neck, and then I did a load of sketches with like the things with long necks, so we're just going with that. And then I do like to use skulls on top, because you get a skull in it, it just kind of looks like something already. If you have to resculpt Julie's face or try and make something out of it, I find you have to work a little bit to find the concept. Whereas, you sort of just stick a skull in anything, you sort of got somewhere. Okay. Hey Kay, how are you? What time is it in Dubai? AM, Jesus. Well, don't stay on for the whole thing, will you? Kay, post your socials. All of you, look at Kay's socials. She's amazing. Actually, are you allowed to do that? I think you are. Well, I say you are. Go on, Kay, post your Insta. Post your art, post whatever. Post a link to your Rookies project. A little bit of a happy accident here. I kind of like how the head is sort of been blocked out there. I think that could potentially be quite cool. everyone says, you know, want to be making, you know, I'm going to be doing your large adjustments first. Okay. Again, not really got a plan. Just have a general idea of what to do. Yes, all of you, check it out. Review check out. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There we go. Oh yeah. So I should probably. I feel like I should be giving you some tips and tricks, but I don't know. I guess at this stage, I'm just working on interesting proportions. Giving that nice sort of flow, silhouette, all that sort of thing. So I really don't know where this is going. This will be a disaster. Which is a little bit high poly, so I'm just gonna mesh down. Okay, that'll do. That'll do. I mean, I think if you saw that come towards you in dark colour, you would not be happy. Okay. Right. Yes, I told you. K rules. I don't know. I think you would have done. I think you would have done. I just felt a bit bad that a certain school was a bit of a disaster. And we should leave it as that. We do not want to get cancelled. We do not want to rock the boat. All right. Okay. Let's have some fun with this, because, you know, I spent all this time modelling this. So, you know, got some complicated bits of geometry here. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can just like try some things. Okay. Tick you off. It's something, I'm sure some of you guys know Michael Pavlovich. One of the things he showed us all, that was, so I did his course at CGMA a while back, and one of the tricks he showed us was, you know, you get something like that, and you can do a mirror and weld on it. Yeah, we can do a mirror and weld on it. Let me decimate. No, sorry, let me dynamesh this. What's it going to be? What's we going to end up with? And then, I mean, so I mean, and then you can get some sort of interesting effects there. It's good. Heather always calls me Kay instead of Stan. Stan. Oh yeah, I know you. Yeah, I've seen you on the Discord. Yeah. Oh, thanks for the support, man. I don't know if I like it or not. Let's Dynamesh. Dynamesh you as well. So fairly low res, but again, I'm not really hugely bothered by that. Everything's going to be painted over. I sort of decided I don't really like that. Okay. It's giving me a sort of slightly weird gothic vibe, which I wasn't anticipating. I also think this doesn't make much sense. Let's get rid of you. How are we doing on time? Got 40 minutes. Okay. I think we are doing okay. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit more to the body. Try and work out where this is going. Got my random kitbash start, which I am going to again play around with. I think I want that straight. I'm just going to rotate that into position. Again, you can see how janky it is where I've posed it and then I've unposed it, but it really doesn't matter, so we can just paint it straight again afterwards. Oh, you two. Yeah. Well, I think you two are both very good. It makes it easier. And motivated, right? I think that's the main thing. It's very hard to work with students who are, who, you know, don't really do a great deal. So, no. You two both deserve all the success in the world. So yeah, as you might be divining from the chat, I do a fair bit of teaching, which honestly has been a lot of fun. But it's been a lot of fun actually doing all these concepts for Heather and stuff, to be honest. Yeah. Something to talk about it more because it's a bit less raw, but I was kind of on hiatus from the industry for a while now, actually, from sort of 2020, and now 5 years later, sort of getting stuck in again. This face, this face. This face, I'm not feeling it, man. I'm not feeling it. I don't think we want that. It looks a little bit too goofy. We got an off center, I do believe we have. Right. Yeah, I'm not loving this up the top here. Let's try again. I'm sort of thinking that simpler might be better here, to be honest. Yeah, you know, sometimes that's often the case. You know, you don't want to necessarily overcomplicate things. Let's try something else. So I did make a little like bone thing in preparation for tonight. So let's just grab that. So it's just a little detail that oh, there we go. Oh, I was modeling this while I was talking to you, Kay. So it's a little design element that may give us something. Let's see. So everyone who's watching here, are you all interested in concept? Are you modelers? Like, what's your jam? All so quiet. Concept art. Of course, yes you are. Yeah. Because you did Zbrush for a bit, didn't you? Have you picked up Zbrush since that project? Are you a conceptor or a yeah, are you a conceptor or a modeler? Yeah. Poliolia. That's true. It is expensive. It is expensive. And there goes my chance of doing anything with the Maxon team. Haha. Oh, are you the trumpeter guy? I'm sorry if I forgot that. My brain is mush right now. Do you mean on LinkedIn? Do you mean the cacophony sculpt? Okay. Yeah. Oh, I don't know, man. I'm trying to 3D curve because the eyes coming in ZBrush. I don't know. People always say ZBrush's interface is confusing. I don't know. I feel like it's just like a weird relative you have to get used to. You know, and then it's fine. Okay. I just can't go away from this sort of hammerhead vibe, but then I feel like I lose the sort of long neck thing that I was going for. Oh yeah, crap, and I've not got long. No! God, this is so much more stressful than I anticipated. But then again, I guess I guess we can always just do this bit for longer. So, you know, if things seem a little bit aimless, it's because they are. You know, sometimes you do stuff like this and then you'll stumble across something that, you know, sort of works and, you know, you really kind of just respond to it. But other times you can just sort of be mooching around looking for something you don't quite know how to fix. I mean, things are going so far. I don't mind this sort of upper part here. And I don't mind the arms. I think that's looking okay. And then there's always the potential to save anything that you do in 2D. It's always easier if you've got a good, something quite strong to begin with there. I'm beginning to feel like these decorations are a bit of a dead end. I feel like he's destined to just be fleshy. Yeah. I am freestyling it, yeah. Yeah. No, and I don't know what to call it either. Actually, I guess some Dead Hand, you know, from Zelda. I've sculpted that once or twice, and yeah, it's got a sort of long neck like that. I've not sketched, no. It's a funny one, actually. I think normally, yeah, I don't, when it's not client work, I do just tend to riff a bit. Yeah. Because I find, like, you know, Zbrush, it's not like modeling, like box modeling. You know, it's kind of forgiving. You can just move stuff around super easily. You can get all kinds of cool effects. So, in many ways, I do feel like it's almost just like sketching already. You know. Yeah, because you can just make such big changes to the silhouette so quickly. Like, I feel like it's just, you know, it might as well be 2D. And actually, if all else fails, I sort of end up just adding tubes to things. You'll see. I just make everything like a brain or interstine, and that's how I save it. So I think we'll probably end up doing that. So I did do some sketches earlier. I don't know, but they're in a sketch pad. I know, so old-fashioned. So yeah, they're in a sketch pad, so I don't have them to hand. But yeah, they're just kind of weird things with long necks, and that was it. So nothing super wonderful. I mean, I don't think that's that bad, but, and if I've taught any of you, if I've taught any of you, I've probably called you out for this, right? But look at those proportions. Look, we've got a half and a half. I told you, if you're not vigilant at all times, your brain will deceive you, and it will split something in half. So let's make that neck a bit longer and get rid of those stupid pairs of teeth. So I see one of the reasons why I wanted to do this stream was because I have a lot of trouble concentrating a lot of the time, and if you're all watching and listening to my audio, I can't just flick into YouTube all the time because that makes me look like a derp. So you are all helping me be my most productive self. I feel like somehow that's even more halfway than before. Let's go down there. But I feel like that's taken away the sort of point of the exercise. Let's try it out. It's got a mouth. Cool. Okay. Skull. Okay. Ah. Okay, so let's see. Let's move that back. Okay. You know what? It might end up all right. I was just trying to keep it exciting for you guys. I'm going to split that bit off. So I think I want to come on. Fine, I'll select it here. So I want to work a little bit more into that top piece. So just split it off there. And just dynamesh that a little bit more. Wrong tool. Right, dynamesh. Right. So I think I sort of want to fill the eye sockets up. I think that's kind of the overall look of this thing. Excuse me, for bosses. Cool. And again, anything I do here, you know, I can sort of fix or improve later on. I feel like he needs something here. At the moment, I'm also sort of one of the decisions I'm making is, you know, for the arms to really hit, we're going to be sort of viewing here at this sort of distance. So it's a bit like the monster in Silent Hill, if you've seen it. This central part sort of ends up being more of the centre of interest than the face, which can sort of be well, that can sort of really fade away. So wondering. Again, this is like a little gimmick. I feel like I just play a little bit too much. But one thing you can do is just create a center of focus there. You know, in this case, we'd be doing something like that. Which again is a vibe. I just feel like I'm being lazy because, like I said, I've done that on a few pieces. I've just put some faces down the center of the chest. So I don't think we're going to play that card, but we are going to just work at this section a little bit. needs a belly button. Honestly, I think with the legs down there, I think they'll look alright faded in. I mean, pretty partly sculpted. I love Silent Hill monster designs, yeah. Actually, I know someone who worked on the original Silent Hill. We've been chatting on Discord. About horror creatures. Yeah, I'm thinking that. I know, he's very cool. He's very cool. Do you know Fujiku, the big theme park there? He there's like this insane like dark maze. I think that's what you call them. It's like an abandoned hospital, and he did makeup for all the maquettes and makeup, right? Super scary. I mean, it's like, it's Japanese, so it's super it's super full on, and they have to have like escape hatches all the way along, because some people, it's just too much for some people, and they faint or panic and want to escape. But yeah, he got to do some prosthetics for them. So I'm gonna add some tubes, like Francois suggested, of something coming out of her heart. So yeah, some of you might know this already, but yeah, append, you know, if I start inserting tubes like straight from the mesh, it's a bit annoying. So if I append them, if I add them to a sphere that I've just hidden inside, then yeah, it just means that I can keep everything separate. So I'm going to take the picker, turn depth to continuous C, and that means that we can draw tubes along the mesh there. Just use an inflate brush very quickly adjust the width of that. And then taper that so it's not quite so. Taper it out so it's not quite so, well, stumpy. I've got 15 minutes left. But you know, it's kind of hard. I'm not super psyched about it, but I also don't think it'll be awful. But I don't know, it's just like that waiting for perfection, isn't it? Sometimes it like never comes. So you know, you should just like get the worst, you know, get the bad sculpts out of the way first. And then there we go. Yeah, you're here late. Yeah, no worries. Thank you for coming, Kay. That's amazing, and best of luck with your business. Like I said, that's crazy. You're crazy brave. Scroll up for Kay's socials. She's amazing. And so is Francois. Francois. I can't believe I didn't give Francois a shout out. It's very rude. Are you still there? So Francois. So I'm butchering your name, aren't I? Francois. Francois is the other yeah, so Francois is the other as far as I know, the other yeah. Is it just me and you so far? Either way. We're the OGs. OG concept crew. Somewhere in Kent. Heather's going like, no! No! Peter, hush, you liability. You. Yeah, that's pants. I wish I hadn't put it there. Let's see if this works. Oh. Sorry, maybe it's because I wasn't on the curve brush. Ah, it did work. Cool. Annie! Hey, Annie! God, a long time no see. How are you doing? That's alright, that's alright, I forgive you. I forgive you. And there's like a gazillion hours of this, so, you know. I was going to say, what else would you be doing? But like, my local climbing club meets on a Wednesday, so that's what you could be doing. You could be going climbing. Environment, interesting. Wow, cool. Care to elaborate? We're all on tenterhooks, Annie. Are you getting clients in? Are you doing portfolio? Like, what are you up to? Tell me. Getting there. I'm like, nope, don't like it. Try again. To be honest. Ah, amazing. Cool. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Hope you are enjoying it. Yes! Well, we do love a bit of 3D, as you can see. Currently this message 0 sublevels. Don't care. Bye. I swear, like, because all you guys are watching, I feel like my Zbrush is being temperamental. More temperamental than usual. I blame. I'm going to try something as well. So you see, I mean, how like with Z, you know, with Zbrush, I mean, you can sort of just try things. Of course, now you can see these look a little bit look a little bit silly. So, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I don't mind that. I can't believe I'm doing this with the default shader all this time. Oh dear. That's why I wasn't loving it, because I left the default shading on. Okay. So, yeah. So workflow I'm showing you now is, yeah, it's something I do professionally. It's very similar to what I did for Annihilation. So actually got a bear skull and then a human skull. And that's a very similar process to this. You know, just sort of kit bashing it together and then painting out the joins afterwards in Photoshop. So yeah, see, it's fairly, you know, I'm showing you industry secrets here. Okay. So I feel like it's probably what it's going to be at this stage. You know, it'll be what it'll be. So yeah, let's just spend these last few minutes, you know, tidying this up. Again, you know, it really doesn't have to be very tidy at this stage. I mean, even these little gaps we can see here, anything that's sort of wrong with the silhouette, very, very easy to paint out in Photoshop. What I probably ought to do is just add a bit of variation to the position of the arms, you know, because it's going to be a little bit stiff otherwise. So what I might do to make it simple, just split it out, and then yeah, we'll just do a little bit of rotation there. Split you. I will stream the paint over. Not all of it, because it does take a while. But you know, it's like a lot of painting. You know, you kind of see where it's going in the first almost like 10-20 minutes. You can see what you've got there. Especially with this, right? Because it's going to go through Blender. Like the render's going to work, right? So, you know. Oh no, he's lost his nails. Do I go for the pudgy fingers? That's the question. Okay, so let's move that away. Okay, I think all I need to do is move some of these hands. So if any of you have so before I used to like just mask, I think you've seen me do that already, but I do like these mask brushes, sorry, these anchor brushes. So you just tap once, tap twice, and you can just do that, right? Obviously if that's disgusting, but yeah, as I said, you know, we can just fix that in Photoshop afterwards. Right, not super bothered. I can't really think of an industry situation where you'd have to like move super quick like that, but I don't know. I think lots of people are obsessed with speed these days. And what I always say to my students is, you know, it's not sort of physically moving faster. It's like you just learn sort of tricks and how to move efficiently. So, you know, the kit bashing libraries is one of them, right? If you've you know, if you've worked with a really, you know, great environment artist, for example, like, yeah, they do really cool work, but one of the resources that you'd expect like a pro environment artist to have would be like a really big kit bash library that they just carry around with them. And then, you know, that's how you can like just like fart out a medieval city in 10 minutes. It's the same thing here, you know, if you've been sculpting in Zbrush for, you know, however long, you're going to have loads and loads of sculpts that you can use, right? And you know, you know, you should have a big like library of sculpts you can use. And I don't know what's going on here, just give me a second. Well, I might fix this while you're all on break. Because oh, there we go. Oh, I did that. Yeah. No, I remember doing this. Okay. Let's just do this. So this is something I get really self-conscious about. Like, I feel like I do things in a really inefficient, like primitive way. Oh, and I've not just deleted his other arms, have I? I think I have. Oh well, I'll just have to make those again. Well, it's come up to 9, so so I'll probably just take a quick break and just fix this during the break. And yeah, we're just going to be exporting that out into Blender. So that's probably where I'll pick up. Thanks for being with me this first hour. Going to take a moment to recompose and let my brain start working again. So yeah, be back in like 5 minutes. Thanks everyone. enjoying the Zbrush Central stream. Actually, no, don't look at that. It's making my work seem pretty bad. Cool. He's got arms now. Hello, Pat. Hello, BR3D. Have we worked together? I was wondering this. Because did you mention DNAG last time we were on stream? Or was I imagining that? It's all a simulation. Okay, so I did say I'd be done by this time, but I'm not. But hey, but no worries. I think it's going to be fairly quick, this. So yeah, so I did delete my arms. Silly me. So during the break I just brought them back. Yeah, so again we don't need to do anything too drastic. Just as long as it's not obviously symmetrical, that's fine with me. I'm just noticing how awful that joint is. This is what I think some people might just think actually watching me work. It's just like how hacky everything I do is. But I don't know. Clients don't seem to mind, so so yeah. So we're into the second hour now. So yeah, I'll just do a quick bit of posing here. Just a quick bit of posing. I mean, I do like to sort of just measure it up roughly to how it's going to be in Blender. And again, you'll all see how I don't really know my way around Blender. Sorry, Stan. Yeah, I do want to move that back because we will see this side. This side doesn't matter so much. And I think this is going to look really ugly because it's coming straight towards camera. So I think I'm going to bend it the other way. Just for a bit of variety. Again, I'm not thinking about it too much. You can get a lot of character from the pose if you really want to. I mean, like some pieces I've done. Yeah, you know, the sort of, you know, a lot of the atmosphere, I guess, comes from the you know, the hunch of something, or how it's the sort of gesture of it. But I don't know, also something like this, just sort of standing there upright, it's not particularly nice either. So yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, and I think the last thing I'll do is just give the head a little bit of a lilt. So yeah, let's move that all out there. Okay. Like it's sort of looking curiously at you. Like it's about to devour your soul. All right. Okay. I mean, so I could pose the neck. Obviously, it's quite a long little thing. But that's easily done afterwards in Photoshop with the puppet warp. So I am not going to bother right now. Yeah, so we're on the verge of exporting this all out. So I'm going to use the, I think it's Subtool Master, but I will double check that in a second. I just want to make sure that nothing's named the same. Otherwise, it will tell me there's a conflict. It's just annoying because you have to export that a little bit out separately. We don't need these little arms, or do we? What do you guys think? Do you like those little arms there? Again, this is like one of the things I put in my box of tricks sometimes, like sticking a little pair of like withered arms somewhere. This kind of work. Exactly, that is it. It's Quato, isn't it? Yeah. I feel like it was meant to be. There we go. So, collaboration. I think you are right. Okay. Well, wait. Yeah. Oh yeah, I worked on the not sequel, remake of Total Recall. Did you as well? I think they took him out, didn't they? I didn't remember there being any mutants in that. Oh, it was just like yeah, it was like they made Total Recall but took out all the Total Recall. It's just like, yeah. No, it was. I don't think it was a fun. It wasn't a fun show. It was just big. It was just a big show. Yeah, there was just a lot of work. That was the only like unusual thing about it. There were just loads and loads and loads of shots. I probably shouldn't say that. You know, what if but I don't know. So when did you join DNAG? Pat. I keep wanting to call you Bread. Jan 2016. Oh my god, I thought Total Recall was around that time. Jan 2016. So what was coming in 2016? I can't remember. That was when we got loads of Marvel movies, wasn't it? Yeah. I remember doing loads of... No, that was when I moved to Concept. So... Yeah. Yeah, no, because I moved to Concept in 2015. So I got very detached from what the VFX were working on. Fantastic Beasts. Did you work on Fantastic? Oh, there we... Oh, amazing. I know. Was it the Crimes of Grindelwald, right? I'm wondering if we saw each other, if I'd recognise you. Thunderbird. Oh, that thing. I think I know. Yeah, let me see. That's amazing. So I got to check that out. Thunderbird. Oh, I thought Framestore did that. Yeah, nice work, man. Bloody hell. Yeah. Sorry, this is what I'm looking at. It's a bit annoying when I'm sort of like reacting to something off screen. That's not what the internet is about. Yeah. That's super cool, man. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Digidoubles. Wow. Yeah. Fun times. No, do you know? I wanted to double check actually something that you because I also worked on Fantastic Beasts. Oh my god, I'm going to spill lots of tea here. Maybe I shouldn't, but I didn't know. I don't know because I feel genuinely hard done by. Our whole department felt hard done by it because what was it? Okay, it's actually really hard to tell an anecdote and work at the same time. I'm just going to export this out and then so I did go through a time when I just did this and I just exported out all the tools like so you get to save it OBJ. As you can see, we've got a load of tools here. That just sucks. So you can just go to Z plugin and go to Subtool Master and go export and just do that. So there is a Firestorm folder. Well, that would be you, Firestorm streaming. Okay, let's make a new folder. So just call that export, and there we go. And so you just have to make sure that stuff isn't named the same thing. and then it's fine. It's fine. I probably should have subdivided those. So yeah, I had a bit of beef with Fantastic Beasts because I did some so I worked on the sequence with the with like the fire creatures in Paris. And to be fair, I think maybe in the end they made the right decision. Maybe. Because they were fire creatures, and I think the problem with fire creatures is they're quite hard to read. But yeah, I did some really cool stuff. I did some really cool designs for the fire creatures. And like they had like insect legs and wings, and one of them was like a vampire squid, and I thought it was really cool. But then if you actually watch it, you'll see those creatures are just like dragons, like normal dragons, and it would have been so cool as well because there was, you know, so the sequence I'm talking about is in like Père Lachaise Cemetery. Although it's Highgate Cemetery. In fact, I think they filmed it at Highgate, didn't they? And there's this bit at the bottom when the fire creatures just emerging and they're sort of crawling out of these doorways. And so I had this one with like these really cool claws. And it would have been really cool. It would have been a really cool visual. But anyway, they didn't do it because the when I went down to the effects crew, I think they were expecting me to have like a really nice reaction. But what they'd done was they just averaged like all my designs and like combined them and made them into just like the sort of generic dragon that you see there. And so I was a bit like, you know, I mean, like, to me, that's not how you get good design. Like, you know, you don't get good design by putting everything in the blender, right? And then, you know, tipping out the slop. So yeah, that was a bit annoying. Oh look, lovely MS backdrop. Sorry, let me see. Oh look, turn off Copilot. Why would that be? Why would that be there? Why would that be there? You know, could it be that? Anyway. Don't get me started. But yeah. So but that wasn't it. That wasn't the end of it. So anyway, just an aside here. So let's just go and import all our stuff. Is that you? No, that's something else. Right, so there we go. Import all the material. Okay. So that wasn't the only thing. That wasn't the only thing. We got asked to provide some work for the art of book, right? Behind Blender. Yeah, exactly. So we got asked to submit some art for the art of book, and so we submitted some images, and then they didn't fucking include. They didn't include any of them. And then the one image they did include for our lot was they credited it to the wrong person. And so like we had one image from our art department from all the work we'd done, and it was mislabeled. And so yeah, that was also like, nah, done with this. I flipped a desk. Yeah. Well, it was a bit, yeah. I thought so. Well, what happened was, I think, you know, the guy who was compiling it all was, yeah, I think so. Well, the guy who was compiling it all, he, I guess he was just doing it for his like friends on set, right? So he was just looking out for his mates. So yeah, they're like, yeah, we'll have one image from those guys because we did a lot of work on it. It was like a good like. Well, I think it was a big show for DNEG, wasn't it? And it was like half the department was working on it. I think there was a time when it looked like I would look around and like everyone was working on it. So yeah, left a sour taste. Anyway, we did the last 50 minutes of the movie. God, yeah. No, preach. I think people always underestimate the amount of work that goes into stuff like that. Crazy amount of work. crazy amounts of work. Anyway, rant over. If you would like to rant about VFX, please feel free. But no, that's great. I wonder if I would recognise you. Maybe not. I tend to recognise people before a certain year at DNEG, even if I didn't work with them. And I'll have to join in on that. I'll drop in on your stream. I mean, actually, I don't know what colour to make him. Sometimes I do grayscale, and I decide for colour afterwards. But I was going to go sort of this way, sort of purple, but I feel like I've been doing a lot of that lately. Render to survive. Okay. Right. So, if any of you don't know this, just, well, no, it's A, isn't it? A selects everything, you select the thing you want last, Control L, and then you can just link materials. I think that's worked. See, Stan, I do know some Blender stuff. Yes. But I swear to God, there we go. Shades. Oh, it's going really well. Oh my God, I actually look like I know what I'm doing. Okay. So honestly, I don't tend to go too far beyond this. Let's give him some. This is really interesting, right? Because before I used to just always go in cycles and be like, yeah, well, I want the ray trace and I want the realism. But I never really used HDRIs as well, so I can't have been going that much for realism. And I also find sometimes that Eevee, because the result you get is a little bit simpler, sometimes that kind of works better for sometimes I feel like that works better for what's it, for like painting, right? Because sometimes with painting, you know, you kind of want to flatten your values a bit. Anyway, I have a feeling this might happen. It's absolutely massive. Okay, so let's just. So yeah, let's try changing it. No, ooh, actually, yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm not disliking that. Okay, so lighting wise again, this can also be something I end up spending quite a lot of time on, you know, just trying out different things, trying to, you know, work out what colors I want, blah, blah, blah. This time round, I'm not super keen to do that because I kind of need to move on because I want to show you a little bit of painting, but I think I'm gonna go for, like, you know, actually a very, very simple 2-point lighting setup, which is where you keep this light here relatively dim. You know, the background's going to be black, so yeah, what I always have to remember to do is, if you go to film, if you click on transparent, you know, then that way we're just going to paint a black background in. So got something like that. He's looking a little bit too shiny, and I think that light's a little bit too frontal. Let's move him over so we get a little bit of form on him. And then I'm just going to add a rim light. So you see this back section will sort of melt into the darkness. So I'm going to, well, normally do a sunlight because it's easier. Just move that out of the way. Doesn't make a difference though. Just turn it up. Okay, there we go. Honestly, sometimes doing this, you get like these nice sort of effects. Like I feel like I could do something with that, but again, I'm not. Oh, yeah, man. Do you see what I mean? You just move things around, and suddenly you get little things that sort of work. The other thing you can do, of course, is study like cinematography and, you know, match sort of lighting setups that you see in film. So I feel like there's an artist that paints like this. Oh yeah, this is also like lots of, you know, you get loads of Russian guys like painting like you're shining a flashlight directly at someone. So that's definitely something you can set up, like something that's all physically based rendering, right? But yeah, let's stick to the plan. I mean, even that's kind of cool with the sort of bounce light effect there. It looks like he could be wandering out a lab or something. But yeah, let's you know, I'm going to try and, if I can, try and get it to just hit this back corner. But you know, because all of you are watching, I'm going to be even less coordinated than usual. Okay, so just tip it back. You know, now I don't like it. I don't like that. Okay. I'm just going to turn it down because I'm getting raging amounts of bounce light. See, this is what I mean. Like if I turn it to Eevee, I think we lose a bit there. And you see, in some ways, it's easier to read. Almost looks like a sort of gradient mapped. Gradient map painting. Whereas, you know, this is almost like trying a bit too hard. But again, I think this should be fairly easy to fix. I do want his skull there to be a different color, so I'm just going to go back into shading and make a new shader. Let's go whiter, let's go rougher, and then I feel like this brain thing should be sort of darker. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. So yeah, let's mock up a camera. Again, I've been shown better ways to do this. I feel like I've just forgotten them all. So I tend to lock the camera to view. He needs to be in portrait. So it's line V up. Oh, of course, and of course my clipping plane needs fixing. There we go. Sometimes I put a floor plane in as well for the bounce light. I'm not super fussed about that right now. Yeah, it's funny, it's sort of all become about this arm section here. So initially I was thinking we'd go more around there, but you sort of see how rubbish the sculpt is back here. So I'm going to keep it there. I think we get a nice sort of slope. I don't mind how that's crossing over. It's not ideal, but there we go. So ugly little stuff like this we can paint out. I mean, you know, you're never going to get it in the perfect place. Well, I haven't said that, so just remember to untick that. I think if I move this round a bit, I think get a little bit less rim light. And yeah. That's pretty much it. As I said, I don't really mess around with this too much. Sometimes mess around with focal length can get you some nice results, but yeah, I really don't mess around with things too much. Maybe let's give those a different colour just to see what happens there. Maybe just grey, or maybe go whiter. I feel like I want to go whiter. Okay, that'll do. Okay, cool. Right. So I probably should have taken the break here, but something for next time. Okay, so I believe that is all I need to do here. I'm just going to whack this up. So that should be enough. I can always add a bit more. I normally paint at sort of around 5, 6, 7K in the longest dimension. And this gets me, let's do some maths, gets me most of the way there, right? And it doesn't break Blender, doesn't break my computer. So save first. There we go. Let's just go there. Right. And let's go. I've got that feeling like I've missed something, but I don't think I have. So yeah, I mean, it shouldn't take massively long. So yeah, we will just wait for that to finish. I'll just wait for that to finish. In the meantime, if anyone wants to ask any questions, please feel free to do so. So right now you are all getting me out of a staff development meeting, which is much appreciated. You guys came first. When did I finish up with DNEG? It was August. It was August 2020. Like lots of people. Wink, wink. How long did? Yeah. So let me see. So yeah, that's the first question. How long did it take you to get to where you are now? I mean. Well, I don't know. I've been like, my career is like nearly at the 20-year mark. But it's weird. Like I don't know where I am now. You know, it's funny. Someone asked me like a talk I did. You know, what's it like? You know, what's it like to make it? And I was like, I've not made it. You know. I've just been made redundant and find it really hard to get something else in, right? So, and I think lots of people are feeling that. You know, I think in this current sort of environment, lots of people feel like the rug has been pulled out from under them. So, honestly, it kind of just feels like I'm doing it a long time, and I don't feel like I've done what I need to do, if that makes sense. It's funny, one of my students pointed this out. Like I got into DNEG straight out of uni. So in many ways I like got the career quite quickly. But it was not quite what I wanted to do. And so it's not quite what I wanted to do. So I'm really sort of figuring that out. But it's a funny thing, like I think if I hadn't been forced out of my old career, I don't think I would have been forced to like think about what I was doing if that makes sense. So yeah, sorry, I don't think that really answers your question, but yeah. How long did it take to get to where I'm now? 39 years, that's how long it took. Soon to be 40. Any VFX gigs recently? No, I haven't. To be honest, I've not really looked. My last VFX gig was probably my last VFX gig was designing a creature, and that was a year and a half ago. So that was in September 24, and that was for a horror creature, and that film I think should be out quite soon. Yeah, that was the last VFX work I did. But also, I don't think I've really tried to stay in the industry. Yeah, I don't think it's really been my priority. So yeah. How about yourself, Pat? You getting working? Are you still with a studio, or are you freelancing? So here we are. We're just going to save this off. So let me move that off. You do not need to see what a mess my downloads folder is. Okay. So I just saved it as untitled PNG. Okay, so I think we're done. I think I can get rid of all this software if it's eating up all my memory. So this bit's obviously going to take, well, it's going to take a while, but at the same time, maybe not quite as long as you might think. I don't know if anyone else has had this, but after you minimize Zbrush, it just dies, and I have to manually destroy it. There we go. Bye bye Zbrush. Give up. Give me back my memory. Okay. So we'll do this for a bit. So I won't be able to finish it, but this last section doesn't take a huge amount of time. Oh yeah, so we can have a look through some other examples of this. So yeah, let's start from him. Oh, it's been a tough couple of years. Yeah. It's just batshit, isn't it? You're obviously crazy skilled, but the work's just not. Yeah, the work's just been crazy. Do you think it's looking up, or how optimistic are you? So here you can see some of the things I'm doing. So yeah, actually, it's been a while since I poked around in this, but yeah, you've got. So that's what the render looked like. Actually, yeah, render with more painting. So yeah, so something like this, honestly, it doesn't take a huge amount of time. It's probably in the range of a few hours. And yeah, you can see it's just, yeah. I guess sometimes it depends on me how far I want to take the painting. Right, if I'm really feeling like doing some things there, I will. But yeah, I mean, let's take a look. Where are you? That's a bit cryptic. Not in London. I think honestly, London's crazy expensive. You know, it's Scotland. Oh, amazing. Just yeah, try to do the accent. Scotland. Where in Scotland? Is it somewhere really remote, like Skye or something? That'd be amazing. Are you in the Outer Hebrides? Are you on Barra or something? if you're just in the central belt, I'm going to be annoyed. I'm like, East Coast, Aberdeen, Inverness, Kirk, Dingwall, Kirkwall. Oh, God, well, that's not even a place, is it? No, is this Dingwall? Yeah, I think it's Dingwall. Anyway, Perth? No, Perth's in the middle, isn't it? I don't know. Central Belt area. Edinburgh? Is my geography like absolutely horrific right now? I mean, Edinburgh's a nice place to be. Yeah. I mean, that's a nice place to be. Having said, I've never been up that way. I've always been up through Glasgow. I thought Glasgow was a really nice city. It had a really nice graveyard. Have you been? Oh yeah, please don't. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. See, me and the internet, we're new. Yeah. So it must be like a really small village, but you can like, okay, yeah. Okay. So yeah, so we don't want to dox. We don't want to dox bread. What am I doing here? Dark background, right? Bye, Francois. Very late. Thank you for joining. Oh, you got to see a tiny bit of the paint over. There you go. So I feel like the colours here should maybe have something to do with him. So I'm not looking to kind of overdo the background. You know, you don't really need to. Just want some kind of gradient in there. You know, just something to give a bit of variety, give something to sort of set off what's going on in front. But it's looking very plasticky, isn't he? Right, and we're just going to get going. Okay. So yeah, I mentioned that sort of straight neck, right? So you know, again, we don't have to be precious about it. Just going to move that out and select that, and then just puppet warp this. Puppet warp a little bit badly. There we go. Actually feel like the head works better tilted up the other way. If at all, actually, I think it looks kind of nice to just have it almost like straight at you. So, I was talking to some students earlier about this. Your problem with 3D renders is that they render everything just like super crisp. So we've obviously got things like this that we need to really sort out, you know, cracks in the painting, stuff like that. But on a sort of more general perspective, you know, having these like little artifacts, having these little sort of you know, these little sort of details and specular highlights that kind of pull the eye, that's sort of my priority to try and get rid of those. And also just really I'm just thinking about read, right? I want, you know, so like this arm is getting lost against that leg, so I'm probably going to want to do something to sort that out. You know, obviously like give a feed if I wanted to, but yeah. So we might go a little bit over 2 hours. I don't know. But yeah, we're just gonna head right on in there. Again, I guess the point of using 3D is that a lot of the heavy lifting is done for you, so you don't really want to be doing too much. But let's just get going. Okay. So you can see we've corrected the gesture up here. And audience, if you have any questions, just shout out. It's like, yeah, actually, I think while I'm doing the 3D, it's kind of tricky to think about both at the same time. But when I'm painting, I feel like more of my mental faculties are freed up. So the face is obviously a good thing to look at. And then I guess one thing that would be I'll show you that in a few minutes. Let me do a bit more painting and I'll show you like a little bit of like photo bashing and stuff like that. So you've got some very ugly things that we should obviously like paint out. I also like to do things like, I don't know, so it's a little painting trick, but if you have a rim light, if you darken just as you approach it, you know, you end up with this light spot in the middle, so you end up turning the form a little bit more. So it's a nice little painting trick. You'll see like splash artists do it a lot. So you can drop that dark value in there. You can see now that's got a lot more contrast. So yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, and I said I'd get rid of that pesky like bounce like that. I like it, but it's a bit too strong. Okay, so yeah, I do want to show you a little bit of photo bashing before we wrap up. But the thing is, if your values aren't like reasonable underneath it all, it's a little bit pointless doing it on top. Of course, yeah. Other things you can do is like you've got that value already chosen for you, so it's you can just like if you want to. Give the impression that there's a little bit of like fat, coming out there. Yeah, very easy to do. If I'm looking to say like model this fold, add some occlusion there. There's my value just there. If I want to emphasize that reflection in like the ambient occlusion, so the reflection in the shadows, again, very easy just to pick that out like so, and that can help turn the form a little bit more. Yeah, like I said, this it's a little bit zingy, quite common with this renderer. Doesn't mean we want to paint out completely, but I'm guessing it's because he's so reflective, actually. Okay, so you can see the sort of changes we're making there. And then, these gross little things are quite good fun to paint. You just like you pull the patterns out. You've got this whopping great reflection there from that area light. I want to make it a little bit abstract. I don't want him to look like he's just like reflecting a big white square. Oh my god, it's so much easier to like talk and paint at the same time. It's so much easier than like talking and doing like software. I don't know what that says about like 3D versus 2D. It's like, yeah. So I'll probably keep working on this during the week, and I'll keep working on this during the week, and then I'll post it somewhere, or I'll give it to one of the Firestorm team to post up on socials. So we'll see how it turned out. But I don't know. I don't feel like anything. I feel like once you see me do it, like I think it's kind of just sort of digital painting, whatever that means. If you have any questions about what I'm doing, you know, do just shout out. Yeah, I think I said it, but yeah, now most of my work is instructing. I'm trying to do a bit more concept work because I feel like that's just the direction that things are taking me in now. But I do like teaching, and I've been told I've got a decent way of explaining art fundamentals. So if you have any questions about painting or anything I'm doing here, do just pipe up. We are here to help all of you. We are here to share the love, share our knowledge. Okay. So you see here, got lots of crusty little, like bubbles there. Don't want to be grim, but you know, we kind of want to, we kind of want to black out the crotch area, right? And you can see how easy it is to add form once you've got the overall structure, right? Like I can just take that dark value, swipe it there, you know, just shade on the other side, and we have kind of that knee, you know, you've got a bit of a form there. So, yeah. I'm going to just try and correct this double rim light thing that's going on here, because like I said, I don't like it. You've got to be careful with rim lights because it's a very... it's a very eye-catching sort of device to use, right? It's a very sharp shape, and it's very, very bright. So, so what that means is that it catches your eye in a way that you don't really want. And when you're working on a big piece like this, a lot of what you need to think about is read, right? Good art, I think, gives you something to focus on, and you can work out what that singular focus is very quickly, right? And if you crowd out that singular focus with too much noise, it's not a good thing. It's like me trying to talk to you and other people talking in the background, or the music being turned up too high. On paper, or when you're doing it, it feels like you're adding more to the picture. It feels like you're giving your viewer more to chew on, but actually it's more noise that ends up crowding out your original sort of vision. Okay, so I'm just going to correct these shapes here, and yeah, this light that's come through here, I mean, yeah, I can see why it's there, but it's a little bit bonkers. It is separating out this belly very nicely, so let's just keep a little bit of it. And yeah, let's make him, her, a little bit more like pot-bellied, because since when is that not a good thing, right? So yeah, anyway, I don't think what I'm doing is particularly interesting painting wise, so maybe I'll show you one of the steps I do try and do sometimes. Yeah, might be a little bit gross, so just as an advance warning, don't if you're eating right now, maybe put it down or look away. I'm not sure if it should be telling people to switch the stream off, but obviously we've got this sort of worm theme going on here. I mean, let's try and do some photo bashing. This doesn't always work, to be fair. You know, you really kind of need to find like a good photo for it to work with, and sometimes that just doesn't exist. But oh god, this is lovely. We got tapeworms, maggots, delicious. I mean, we've got the composting worms. I mean, they look gross, but they're not actually gross. Like, I feel like that's not so bad compared to like parasites or maggots or things like that. Anyway, brace yourselves. Brace yourselves. See, these are just like composting worms. They're friendly. Okay, so, and again, I don't know if this is going to work, but like sometimes if you can lay stuff on over the top, and sometimes nothing happens. I think what the problem is this is too much like an actual thing, right? Yeah. That's not going to work. Let's try something else. How about this? So, these things here are fungal mycelium. Heather is laughing somewhere in the background. I feel like, see what I mean? I feel like that could be something. Let's have a go. Sometimes I just end up erasing it to the point that it doesn't really, you know, it's almost like why did you bother using it? But we can adjust for the levels so if it's a little bit less sort of punchy. And then of course it needs to be feathered in. Just take a bit of care when you're doing this, because otherwise you end up with lots of like these little ugly square artifacts where you've not quite tidied up the edges. Yeah. So although I don't think it's working on majority, like you see here, I think this is quite a nice moment. It looks like sort of some like, I don't know, some kind of, like it's sort of knitted together or something. And then this on its arm, I think isn't so bad. I think that's sort of quite a nice sort of combo. So I mean, this can seem like a sort of slightly strange exercise, but this is quite a big part of what you end up kind of doing in industry. At least it was when I was there. Like you kind of need a way to try out different textures, right, and different kinds of finishes to a creature, right? So let's take the Annihilation Bear. So so Alex Garland really got attached to this baboon with vitiligo. So vitiligo, if you don't know, it's when your skin is unevenly pigmented, and people have it, right? It's where you see like patchy melanin, and that ended up being the texture he wanted, right? But up until that point, he wanted us to try, you know, like fungal mycelium, right? Lots of different plants, lots of different plants, like in plant textures on the skin of the bear, right? Because it's quite integral to the look, isn't it? Like what sort of texture it has. So yeah, you don't have to be shy about like taking that, and you know, I know it's repeated, but you know, we can always paint over that, and then you can like, you know, I can just dump that there. So this is what I mean about little artifacts. If you're not careful, you end up, you know, leaving these little shards everywhere. You have to go back over and point them out and paint them out. So you know, if you can, just try and keep on top of that. Yeah, like, you know, let's have a little bit down there. So I mean, yeah, like I said, it's just sort of photo bashing. Is it 101? Is that what that means? No clue. No clue. But you can see it adds a kind of like, oh, too much. It adds a kind of like extra sort of like detail. And you know, I think the key is you don't have to do it everywhere. You know, you're sort of creating like moments where it's more, where you know you see a lot of detail, and then you can like fade it out and you can make it more painterly, or just have, you know, nothing there. So yeah, let's just put a bit around the neck. And then yeah, let's just take a bit there. Yeah, see, I think that sort of fibres underneath the neck, I think that works quite nicely. Yeah, and of course, yeah, if you want to make things easy for yourself, you can turn the, where is it? Bye, Annie. Have a lovely evening. If you want, you can turn the feathering up, and then yeah, then that makes selecting. It means you have to do less painting out, but I am lazy like that. Okay. So, fairly happy with that painting, so let's just merge down. Let's just be brave and merge down again. No. So I'm going to parent that first, and then that should be alright now. Okay. And yeah, we'll just go and paint over the top. So now we've got something else to respond to. So, yeah, we just carry on. Just carry on. So I won't leave this on too much longer. But you can see how we can take that pattern. Also, the problem with photo bashing is sometimes it ends up like really sort of, you know, really kind of crisp compared to everything else. So, you know, let's just, you know, sometimes like adding a bit of your own sort of like paint over the top can really help. It looks kind of gross as well. Okay. All right. Well. Oh, that kind of brings us to the end. As I said, I'll keep on working on it. Even from this point on, actually, it shouldn't be a huge amount of work, right? It's a few hours, right, I would say. So I've kind of timed this before, and it's taken about 5 hours. That is 5 hours without like being distracted, watching YouTube and flitting back and forth between different things. So, but no, it shouldn't. I can't imagine this will take too much longer. Yeah, Hope you enjoyed. Are there any questions before we go? Anyone have anyone have anything they're dying to get off their chests? No? Good. A quiet bunch. I will be back next week, but I think it's on Friday, and we'll be doing some thumbnailing, and you'll be seeing me doing more drawing, whereas this is something altogether different. So yeah, it's Ephraim, by the way. Hello Ephraim, how are you? Oh, that's very kind. I like your incredible work. You've been talking to Mr. Sutter Kane, right? Or have you not? He says he's been talking to you. Oh, he's gotten shy. Either that or he types very slowly. Oh well. Appreciate you, Ephraim. Very good stuff from you. Very good stuff from you. And yeah. Cool. Alrighty then. Well. Peter out. Yeah. Make sure to follow us. Well, there you go. It's at the bottom. Where is it? It's that way. That way. And there. Yeah. Be sure to follow us. Yeah, lots of great streamers every week. Lots more joining as well. So yeah, you got lots and lots of great streamers to I don't know, to work along to, I guess. So yeah, give us all a follow. You know, I'm on ArtStation, Instagram and LinkedIn, and of course, you know, all the other Firestorm socials. So yeah, been a pleasure, guys. Have a great evening, and hopefully I'll see some of you here next Friday. I think it's next Friday, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Okay, everyone take care. See you guys.